So I want to start with this. We have here an article from the Washington Post written by Caroline Kitchener that really lays the pro-abortion position to bear, I think. There's no dancing around the subject here, not really anyway. Abortion kills babies, and that's a good thing, according to pro-aborts, because babies are bad. And that's the position laid out in this Washington Post piece through the profile of a young mother of twins. And the headline is, "This Texas teen wanted an abortion. She now has twins." And accompanying the headline is a picture of, as you can see, two adorable little twin babies. And we're supposed to see this picture and immediately think how sad it is that those babies exist and are alive rather than dead and dismembered and rotting away somewhere. This is an actual headline in the Washington Post with pictures of little twin babies that says, well, now look what you did, pro-lifers. Now these babies exist. That's what Caroline Kitchener of the Washington Post wants us to think anyway when we see infant babies. So let's get to the article. It doesn't get any better in the article itself. So reading through a little bit of this, she says, she writes, Brooke Alexander turned off her breast pump at 6:04 p.m. and brought 2 fresh bottles of milk over to the bed where her 3-month-old twins lay flat on their backs, red-faced and crying. Running on 4 hours of sleep, the 18-year-old tried to feed both babies at once, holding Kendall in her arms while she tried to get Olivia to feed herself, her bottle propped up by a pillow. But the bottle kept slipping and the babies kept wailing. And Brooke's boyfriend, Billy High, wouldn't be home for another 5 hours. "Please, fussy girl," Brooke whispered. She peeked outside the room, just big enough for a full-size mattress, and realized she had barely seen the sun all day. The windows were covered by blankets, pinned up with thumbtacks to keep the room cool. Brooke rarely ventured into the rest of the house. Billy's dad had taken them in when her mom kicked them out, and she didn't want to get in his way. Brooke found out she was pregnant late on the night of August 29th, 2 days before the Texas Heartbeat Act banned abortions once an ultrasound could detect cardiac activity around 6 weeks of pregnancy. It was the most restrictive abortion law to take effect in the United States in nearly 50 years. Now, if you're pro-life, meaning that you love and appreciate life, and you think life is a good thing, right? Then you hear the first part of this profile, and you might think that this will turn into a story of like a young mother who was prevented from killing her 2 children. And though she now has financial hardship, she also is experiencing the beauty of motherhood and of her children. And she's grateful to have them. And she's learning to embrace this new and unexpected reality of motherhood. And like that's all a good thing. You know, that's the way you might see this as a pro-lifer. But this story is coming to us from a death-worshipping nihilist, so it kind of takes another direction. And it continues. Texas offers a glimpse of what much of the country would face if the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade this summer, as has been widely expected. If the landmark precedent falls, roughly half the states in the country are expected to dramatically restrict abortion or ban it altogether, creating vast abortion deserts that will push many into parenthood. Sometimes Brooke imagined her life if she hadn't gotten pregnant and if Texas hadn't banned abortion just days after she decided that she wanted one. She would have been in school, rushing from class to her shift at Texas Roadhouse, eyes on a real estate license that would finally get her out of Corpus Christi. She pictured an apartment in Austin and enough money for a trip to Hawaii, where she would swim with dolphins in water so clear she could see her toes. Now from there, we're told the whole story of how she got pregnant, then tried to get in for an abortion before the law took effect, but she couldn't. So then she went for an ultrasound. She was hoping the baby wouldn't have a heartbeat, but then it turned out that the baby did, and in fact, there were 2 of them, so now she has 2 daughters. And then we get passages like this. If it wasn't for the Texas law, Brooke knew she might not be standing here. She'd probably be studying for her next exam, while Billy mastered some new trick on the quarter pipe. She liked to think that they'd still be together, spending their money on movie tickets and Whataburger instead of diapers and baby wipes. Now, of course, the life of a mother of 2 beautiful children is far more meaningful and interesting and important than just like hanging out at a fast food restaurant. So it almost seems like this is supposed to be a pro-life story, right? Especially when we're told, actually later on in the article, and it goes on for quite a while, we're told that that Brooke married the father of her children. So she did the right thing. She married the father and they formed a nuclear family, and that she loves her babies and she's happy to have them now. And we're also told that she doesn't want to think about what would have happened without the Texas law because she knows that they probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that law. Okay, and all of that is in the article, and yet the writer makes her feelings known in the headline. And also by the fact that she's an abortion reporter for the Washington Post, and she's not shy about her pro-abortion radicalism. She retweets Planned Parenthood all the time, so she's an advocate for abortion. And yet it just kind of goes to show that even when writing this profile, again, the writer, Caroline Kitchener, made her intentions clear. This is supposed to be a sad story about a woman whose life was destroyed by the presence of two beautiful babies. And yet you read through the entire article and you're kind of left thinking, well, but is this supposed to be pro-life? Because it sounds like this pregnancy was an unexpected turn, and she didn't want the pregnancy at first, but now she has the babies and she's grateful to have them, and she's living a more meaningful life. And yeah, there are more challenges now, but she has resolve and she's getting past it. And so that's a positive thing, right? And now these two beautiful babies are living, whereas before they wouldn't have been living before. And it shows that really any honest discussion of the issue ends up sounding pro-life, even if it isn't supposed to be. If you're just honest and you tell a story, and it's even if we're supposed to take a pro-abortion message away from it, we don't, because that's where honesty on the subject of abortion always points to the pro-life message. And that's especially the case with this article here. Well, if you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get more content like it. If you're craving more content, go watch or listen to my full show at dailywire.com, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.